Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard. Today, I want to talk to you about the top 5 reasons to carry a fixed blade for EDC. Now, if you're like me, you are, safety conscious. You're carrying your firearm. You're carrying all the things that you need to be, safe in today's society, safe in today's world. A lot of times people, when it comes to their blades, they're sticking with a folder or a flipper, maybe like a rapid deployment or something like that. But I have kind of gone through this kind of renaissance of trying to find what's best for me. I've changed what I carry. I've looked at, revolvers. I've looked at small compact firearms. And there's really not been any difference when it comes to blades. I've carried almost every kind of blade you can think of, but I'm starting to kind of dial in what I like, what I'm looking for, and what's best for me. A lot of times when I'm carrying my revolver, if I am carrying my revolver, if I'm carrying my Glock 43X, those are smaller firearms. I don't necessarily want to always carry, a speed loader or a secondary magazine. So you have to think about like secondary options. And you might be in a situation where you can't get to your firearm. So I want to have something on the weak side of my body to be able to deal with any sort of potential threat. The reason why I've kind of steered towards a fixed blade is because I have really big hands. I have huge hands. So knives like the K-bar, knives like some of the more like defensive knives that you can wear on the front of your belt, those don't really work for me. And here in Oregon, we have some legality issues as to whether or not that, conceals as open carry or if it's a concealed weapon. So you cannot conceal fixed blades or knives here. Everything has to be open carry. So that's another consideration. So I've kind of looked into a lot of options out there for me. I prefer the cheaper, or I would say inexpensive is probably the better way to say it. I prefer the inexpensive fixed blade knives, but I want to go over right now just kind of my top 5 reasons as to why you should choose a fixed blade over any other options. Number 5 is going to be durability and strength. Fixed blade knives generally have fewer moving parts compared to folding knives, making them inherently stronger and more durable. That's hard to argue. Number 4, ease of maintenance. With no moving parts, fixed blade knives are easier to clean and maintain than folding knives. And I'm one of those people that I would be lying to you if I said that I take the time to clean my stuff, right? I rarely clean my guns. I'll oil them. I rarely ever clean them. Good thing I use Glocks, right? And the same goes for knives. I'm not going to spend a lot of time oiling and really putting a lot of time behind them. I need something that I can just grab and go. Number 3 is going to be quick deployment. Fixed blade knives typically offer faster deployment compared to folding knives, as they don't require unfolding or flipping open before use. Defensive situation is generally what I'm thinking about. I want to be able to get to that knife quickly. I want to be able to deploy that knife quickly and get it into the fight. Number 2, versatility. Fixed blade knives often have larger and sturdier blades compared to folding knives, making them suitable for a wider range of tasks. Now, you will see people that are into bushcraft, that are into, more hunting and survival in the wilderness type activities that'll use their knives for everything. They'll use it for, foraging for wood, cutting wood, shaving off, kindling, prying things open. Guys, look, that's not how I roll. I'm looking strictly at everything that I have as a defensive weapon to be there in the horrible scenario or situation that I need to utilize it. That's the only thing that I'm looking at these things for. And I don't really look at knives like a lot of people are really into how sharp a knife is. I'm looking at it strictly from the perspective of it being a full tang knife where the blade is not going to break off, and I'm able to utilize that in a poke or a stabbing motion. Number 1, safety and security. Absence of moving parts reduces the risk of accidental closure or failure during use. Providing a great sense of confidence, especially in those high stress situations. And again, guys, I've told you what my high stress situations are. So what are some of the knives that I'm rocking with right now? Number 1 is going to be the Smith & Wesson M&P Extreme, right? Smith & Wesson, known for their great firearms. They also create a very good knife. Now, I prefer, I think they're called the Crambit style, right? Knife that has the ring at the top. It's easier for me to get my hand on that, be able to get a finger in there if needed. This knife coming in at just under, I think, $38. Very, very good buy. It's got a decent sheath, nothing really to write home about, but it's Kydex, it works, and I use the static line method in terms of deployment. I'm a big fan of pocket carry. You know, I'm a little out of shape, a little overweight. I like to keep my middle and my back free of things. That's why appendix carry has been something that I've kind of gotten away from. I don't prefer scout carry with my fixed blade knife. Good old pocket carry. Take the static line, wrap it around the belt, drop this into my front pocket. The handle is exposed. I'm open carrying and I'm legal at that point, and I can get to it extremely quickly if need be. Second knife is going to be the SOG Seal Pup Elite right here, about $65. I don't like to go over 60 bucks. I went over by about $5. Again, this sheath, a lot better than the Smith & Wesson sheath. Not a lot to it. Again, running the static line method. Here is the knife right here. This is a black knife. I prefer the black knife. You know, what am I going to say about it, guys? It's a full tang, very sturdy, very robust knife. Pretty sharp, pretty good at sticking, pretty good at poking, and serves the purpose, and just a little bit over the price range. Now, a knife that I really like that I've had for a long time is this Benchmade knife here. I don't have grips for it, so I've always run kind of like just a grip tape on it. This knife is sharp as shit. I have cut myself on this thing just moving it around the bedroom, and it has not been sharpened. This is out of the box. Serrated knife, you know, clearly full tang, very, very strong. I'll probably run some paracord on this and run this in an open carry position as well. This knife, a little bit more expensive. I keep talking about the price and you know, the importance of sticking to the inexpensive knives, and I have a couple of reasons for that. The case for cheap knives under 60 bucks. Number one is going to be affordability. Fixed blade knives under $60 are generally more affordable than their higher end counterparts. For budget conscious individuals, these knives offer a cost effective solution. It's important for people to be able to protect themselves. I am a huge staunch supporter and believer in the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, and that includes knives. Everybody is not going to be into firearms for whatever reason, although I don't agree with that. Everybody doesn't want to carry a firearm. For whatever reason that you might shy away from firearm ownership, you still have a right to be protected. And a knife, although I think it's a lot more up close and personal, a lot more spicy, it does offer you a method of protection. Aside from that, as a secondary method of protection, one of the best things that you can have aside from a second gun, right? So a big supporter of the affordability of a under $60 knife. Number two is going to be the need to ditch, right? A fixed blade knife under $60 is ideal for rapid ditching due to regulations or to avoid attention. Plus, if you're prone to losing items like me, the price hit isn't that painful. All types of situations that you can find yourself in, whether you're going into certain buildings, certain businesses, you know, I'm not a legal expert, but you might find yourself in various amount of situations where you should not or you can't have that knife on you. What do? If you have a firearm, there's no way to legally ditch that firearm, and I wouldn't say that you should do that. I'm not telling you that you should in any situation ditch a knife, but it's a lot easier to get rid of or leave behind. Let's just say that something that you've spent a far less amount of money on than something that's a little bit more expensive. Also, if you do happen to lose a knife, or if you drop it in the water, or you leave it behind at a hiking trip, you know, if it's under that $60 price tag, it's not something that's going to, you know, absolutely break the bank. Number three, opting for a fixed blade knife under $60 provides the best opportunity to what? Purchase more options. due to the lower price range, right? Would not be able to have multiple knives, right? If I was spending a ton of money on these. The fact that I'm purchasing some of the lower end in terms of price, not quality, but lower end in terms of price, it gives me the opportunity to have multiple. I love options. I love being able to wear one knife with one outfit, another knife with another outfit, you know, depending on the situation, the scenario, where I'm going, what I'm doing, having different options. So that's just my kind of thoughts on the fixed blade phenomenon. Really a big fan of that. Would love to hear what you guys think, what your thoughts are, and what are you carrying? Are you putting a little bit more money on the front end? Is it a buy once, cry once? Or are you like me, where you're liking the options to have multiple things that you can carry with your kit? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. Be great.